So when it comes to free speech, it's pretty important. In fact, the ability to disagree with each other is one of the most important things that we have in the UK. But judging by the news and all of the commentary that we see online, I gotta tell you, there are some people out there who have done a complete 180. Because we got this headline here, and I'm sure you've seen the news. We got Gary Lineker essentially getting sacked or exiting from the BBC. And what I wanted to talk to you today about, right? It's quite a simple situation. I just don't think that commentators get it online. But I think it's important to remember that what Gary Lineker shared was an emoji. You must admit, everyone out there is getting angry. They're getting all riled up and they're getting pretty excited. But I think people have forgotten that he literally posted an emoji. That's it. Because I don't like Gary Lineker, and truth be told, he's really not going to like me. You know full well he's not subscribing to this channel. But if this was Rupert Lowe, and that's the main thing, I want to keep it consistent. And it's not like I don't like these commentators, We'll call them the commentary club. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I wish that they held higher standards. Because the tweets I've seen over the last week, I've seen people calling for Gary Lineker to be arrested. Again, just for an emoji. And sharing an Instagram reel. And I also saw one account, right? He had free speech in his name. Not his bio. His name on Twitter was free speech. There was something else to it. But it was free speech in his name. And underneath a Gary Lineker article, he tagged 2 different police forces. You imagine that? Someone calling themselves free speech. He's tagging multiple police forces. Because someone posted an emoji. I just don't understand it. And before we start going through the tweets, the best thing to do is if you see someone making a comment about it online, about how you shouldn't use the word rat, all you got to do is just type in on the people's tweet history and just type in the word rat. And you'll see these people who are getting unbelievably angry over Gary Lineker using a rat emoji. I will say, apart from Katie Hopkins, she's the only person I haven't found who's been using the word rat. But they're just rat left, right and centre on their past tweets. Whereas when Gary Lineker does it, it's multiple police forces, end of the world, and demand that he be sacked. In fact, we'll start here with this one from Dan Wootton. Again, it's not that I don't like these people. I just wish that we held ourselves to a high... I hold myself to quite a high standard. So I don't know, either they need to start holding themselves to a higher standard, or I just need to start lying for clicks. Because, and remember, he was upset because Gary Lineker used a rat emoji. And he says Gary Lineker is a pathetic weasel. So if you can't call people rats, apparently calling them a weasel is absolutely fine. And Tim Davie is a little... I'm not going to say family-friendly show. I'm not going to say that. But again, that's an animal. Or, you know what I mean, the nickname for them. As well as something else. But he's called someone an animal there. He's called someone else an animal here. But he's like, oh, no, fella, that's it. That's it. Game over. It's Gary Lineker. He's used an emoji. That's it. We're done. Call the police. Yeah, no, we got an emoji. Yeah. Hey, no, honestly, an emoji. Yeah. Get him down. 5 minutes. Cool. It's just insane. Because if this was you, if you got sacked for using an emoji, I'd be right there with you. And again, I don't like Gary Lineker. I can't say it any clearer. I've even made videos on Gary Lineker in the past. But I don't think the fella should be, pushed out or squeezed out or sacked. Or even have the police tagged underneath some posts. And don't get me wrong, right? You may have been caught up in this as well. You might have felt it's alright to find the funny side. And it's alright to make jokes about someone. Even if they are getting sacked, it's alright to make jokes. That's absolutely fine. It's also alright to laugh at them. Same way as if I got sacked. Gary Lineker is allowed to laugh. It's not a crime to laugh. Not yet, at least. If we keep going down this route, it's going to be. But don't get me wrong, right? You might have got caught up in this as well. But what you got to remember is we're going to call them the commentary club. That's people like Grimes and Lawrence Fox. I think they probably have some sort of morning meeting where they all get the daily memo about what to say. But what you got to remember is that it is kind of like an echo chamber. Because just last week, these people were marching for the Free Speech Union. But now, apparently, free speech has gone out the window as long as you use an emoji. I can't say that any clearer. There is one emoji that we can't use. It's just, what path is this, honestly? What path are we going down? But like I said, it's not really down to you, it's just down to the commentators. They should know better than this. When they'll sit there day after day criticising Islam. But when it comes to this one certain religion, apparently they're protected and we're not. Like Dan Wootton here. He's alright to call people weasels. It's just a word, he's allowed to use it. But if someone uses another word around someone else, well, apparently in 2025, that is a crime. And whether or not they're doing it deliberately, just to, push their agenda, or whether or not they're saying these things just because, they actually believe that people should be sacked for them, I had to rack my mind then. I just don't see why someone would do this honestly. Do we really want people getting sacked for emojis? I don't. Even if he used a clown emoji next to a rat. Let's say Gary Lineker used a clown emoji next to a rat. That's his free speech. My free speech is I'm going to take the mick out of that fella left, right and centre. I wouldn't even sleep for a week straight. I'd have 27 shorts, 247 long-form videos just about how Gary Lineker's an absolute muppet. That's my free speech. I can't cancel him. It's almost like what it is. We're almost turning into the cancel culture people that we don't like. I say we. We're not changing into them. It's just the people at the top of the pile. And one thing I will say as well is that I sat there all day at work and I thought to myself, should I make this video? Should I really go against the grain and say how I feel? And then I thought to myself, yeah, of course you are. What you're just going to stay quiet? That's a terrible way to do it, isn't it? So honestly, I don't care if I'm the 1% on this one. I don't think people should be threatened with police just for an emoji. And if you agreed with what I say, thank you. But if you didn't agree and you thought I was incorrect, again, thank you. Because both sides of that showed the perfect trait. You allowed me to talk, and that is free speech. So go back to what you were doing. Emojis, you can use them. I'm not going to call the police on you. You're all good.
This country has gone crazy.